All right, guys, it's at 4:41. Just leaving the library back on the other side of the come and go. So nice and warm in there. I think I was there for about 5.5 hours. I told her 2. She told me I was more than welcome to stay till closing, which is at 6. I wish I could have, but I have to find, somewhere to camp. There's a welcome center here for the I forgot the name already, forest. And there's a cemetery coming up, so I'm hoping in one of them I can squeeze in because my pack is heavy with 3, 4, 5. I guess it ain't that bad. 5 liters of fluid. Stocked up on some snacks. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do tomorrow yet, but I might camp all day without hiking. I made a YouTube video. It's uploaded to YouTube now, but it's going super slow. So I don't know. I'm full on power. Everything's maxed out, so kind of sucks that I couldn't get the YouTube video done in there because it'll kill my phone charge. Plus some probably because it's taking that long. But we'll see what happens because it's at like 13% right now. All right, here's the welcome center. I'm hoping I can squeeze in somewhere around here, but it might not look like it. The Arapno National Forest, Arapno. There you go, something like that. But you got the idea. Well, I'm doing what I like to do least at the end of the day. I'm climbing. I'm hoping I can find a spot pretty easy. I was hoping maybe it could be a spot that I could just lay out all day tomorrow in the tent, but that might not be the case. We'll see though. All right, well, I'm at the top. Little 800-foot climb at the end of the day. There's a lot of like little camp spots. I checked online. It says dispersed camping is allowed unless it's high traffic areas or trailheads. So I don't know about this area specifically, but there's been like logs with numbers on them. They kind of look like campsites, a couple of them. A couple of them are just piles of rocks. But I'm up here. This ain't bad. If I can get behind one of these trees, I'd rather all them houses not be able to see me. Not that someone's probably looking up here, but that just killed me at the end of the day, guys. Well, I started going up higher and I just turned around and gave up. I'll just take one of these other spots down here. Well, I left, I think my phone was like 85 when I left, 30 minutes ago, and it's already down to 64. Posting a YouTube video eats it up, man. So, it's only at 18%. It's at 3 gigabytes. I got 13 gigabytes of the video. It's a longer one. So I don't know. I'm going to keep getting it go. I won't be back to where I was at. I could be if I don't move tomorrow and I stay here. I might be right back to where I was at for power today. So I got to be weary of that. I'm full now, 2 full blocks, but I'm going to have to use at least another charge to get this video out. Well, I think we found home for the night, at least the night. It's marked number 16 on the pole up here. So I'm assuming it's a camp spot. I don't know if that's a pay spot or a reserve spot, but maybe. But it's pretty small, but I should be able to get my tent in there and at least have my body on the one good section right there, kind of in the middle. And the rest can just be overlapping, doesn't matter. I just, looking at all these houses. Not a big deal. Oh, there's the come and go that I stopped at, and the library's right behind it. And then 800 and so feet up, here's my campsite. It's not bad. Like I said, I can really go to that library tomorrow. It looks like we're only going to get an inch, and then maybe another ½ inch at night. But I don't know if I want to be walking in that because where I'm going up. I think I probably got another day or 2 hiking, maybe a day and a half before I get to the Continental Divide Trail. But I'm going to be going up, and then I think I'm going to be over 10,000 feet a couple times. So I don't that inch or 2 could turn into much more. So I think I just played safe. And then hopefully that snow's melting because the next week's temperatures are going to be all in the 40s and I think even the 50s a couple days. Nights are always cold. It's October in Colorado. It's going to be chilly. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at them clips from the last video I'm posting right now about dealing with that wind and stuff. It's funny, because when I was in the Marine Corps, I'm always talking shit, blah, blah, blah. And when I was scared is when I got quiet. And I was struggling last night. And I'll tell you what, posting stuff on Instagram stories and filming my clips, it sounds weird maybe, but it kind of felt like someone was there. And it gave me something to do and took my mind off of stuff. So I ain't gonna lie, I was definitely scared. I don't know if scared's the right word. I was concerned. Not so much about that immediate moment. Like, I was worrying about my gear, what's gonna happen if my tent breaks. Ooh, I'm out of breath. As usual, right? That didn't go in the spot quite how I had it. The legs ended up much further down, but it's gonna have to work. I'll tell you this, the breeze is not, I just assumed to be coming at me. It's coming this way, so it's trying to blow me off the mountain. So this probably isn't a great spot, but I'm gonna be in it. It's not getting up to that high, so I'll be fine. But I'm probably gonna move tomorrow morning somewhere up higher, a little flatter. So yeah, it kind of worked out. The more I look at it, I think this is probably a bench. It's probably not even a campsite. It's probably a bench. This looks like a bench that fell over. I thought it was like a barrier for a tent, but it looks more like a bench, and I just squeezed into a bench spot. Well, 7 o'clock, I'm all set up in here, I'm relaxing, and I hear a jingle. And I'm like, I thought it was something in here, so I'm hitting my tent, and every time I hit my tent, it jingled more. There's a dog right outside, and they started barking. And it was, a couple yards away. Sorry, I'm scared the crap out of me. So I've been seen, so I don't know how that's good or not, but oh well, see what happens. I'm here now. All right, 7:30, guys. Good morning. It is Thursday. I don't know the date. October something. I don't know. It might be the 14th or something like that. Anyway, it's Thursday. I'm just packing up slowly. I got a little frost on the inside of my tent from the condensation, just trying to dry it out. The weather forecasts are all over for the place. I guess it's going to be that way in elevation, so everyone I check. So we're getting rain and getting snow today and the varying times, but it looks like around noon. Could start a little earlier, so I'm going to pack up here slowly, take a walk down to the gas station, get a cup of coffee or something, and hopefully get some electricity on there. I got a YouTube video out, but it took 14 hours and ate my full battery down to... I have like a charge and a half left on it, so because I used it's like I had to get 3 charges on my phone to get this video out. But I got a video out, and I can clear up space on my phone, so that's a plus. Anyway, I want to go down and get power. Maybe get power at the ranger station down there. I don't know if they have an outlet, but I'll see. And then I'll around 11 o'clock or so shut it down and start walking back up here before, or maybe maybe I'll stay as long as I can. It's no problem setting up in a little bit of rain, and then setting up here. It was cold last night. I'm realizing that my gear that I have is probably just not going to cut it. And it only went down to like 24, but it felt like 18. It was cold enough. I need to get a better mat. That mat's not cutting it. It's just, I feel the cold creeping in. And I'm laying there without my puffy coat on. I'm like, why? Like, I'm fighting it. I'm like, oh, if I put it on now, what am I going to do when it gets really cold? Like, just put it on now and worry about the stuff later. Like, I'm trying to keep layers so I have something if it gets colder, but... I just need to put everything I have on. I just didn't put my rain gear on last night. That's it. So, but that cuts down the wind when it's windy. But it wasn't windy last night. All right, 8 o'clock, guys. Still packing up. Just taking my time, which I should be hurrying. But gear. I bought these 250 weight smart wool, merino wool gloves with the fingers. Anyway, the patterns come off of both fingers on both sets of gloves, and I got holes in them already. And I'm not even a week in. It's just ridiculous. I wasn't happy with them anyways. I thought they'd be thicker than this. So my hands are freezing out here as it is. And now I got a pair of fleece gloves also that I've had this whole journey, outdoor research. And they're starting to get holes in them too. But I've had these for 7 months. So they've been through a lot already. But these just don't do not once you're wet. At least the wool gets wet and I'll still keep a little warmth. But they're falling apart already. So just got to make it through this month. I got to get gloves, a mat. I need some more gear next month. Pack's just going to get heavier. All right, guys, 8:30. I'm walking back in town. I'm going to go get a coffee. It's funny. I just stopped to let a car pass, and it was the librarian from yesterday. She gave me a friendly wave, so I'm probably going to... The library opens at 9. I'm probably going to go back in there and try to get a couple hours of power, ask her if it's okay. Just tell her I camped. Well, tell her what I did. I camped nearby because of the weather. So see if she'll let me. If not, there's outlets at the gas station. But it's a little chilly out today. It says it's 24, and it feels like it's 18 or something like that, so... It's chilly. Rain and snow still coming. All right, guys, it's 1:15, and I'm headed back to where I camped out last night. And as you can tell, I'm out of breath. I just swallowed 2 pieces of pizza from the gas station. Really went against my budget, but that was such a great stop today in the library. Met a couple new employees. Everyone was super nice. Met a lady named Kate. We did a lot of talking about my route and all. She pretty much convinced me to take the alternate bike routes through some of these passes. She says what I experienced at 9,500 feet, multiply that by however many times you want when you get over 10, 12,000 feet. So I'll fill you when I'm out in breath. But Kate was super nice. She saw my gloves. I was complaining to her about my gloves having holes in them already and, gear, blah, blah, blah. She went to her house and got me like an official, I'll show you later, an official pair of like winter gloves like you would wear skiing or snowboarding. It's a glove, but it's a glove inside of a mitt so I can flip down the top and expose my fingers, or I can keep the mitt over the fingers. It's super nice and heavy duty. Oh, I'm dying, man. You just don't get used to salvation that quick. Plus my pack's extremely heavy because she also gave me a bunch of food. Fancy ramens, a can of chicken noodle soup, which I'm going to eat when I get up here, as I can't be carrying around a can, but super nice. Gave me an extra pair of socks. Then I met another lady. Her name escapes my mind right at the second, but she gave me her phone number to her and her husband's house. She lives up around where I got stuck on the side of the road, and said if I run any troubles, give her a call. So it was super great being there. I got all my batteries topped off. I can't ask for anything better for being out here for, I'm not even quite sure what the day this is anymore. There's no point in keeping track. I know I got to do a long run. But 2 days at Mr. Ron, I think 3 or 4, it's 5 or 6 days. I'm full on power. And looks like I got a little different road plan. Oh, we got some moisture up in them hills. It's actually flurrying out. It started flurrying literally the second I left the library. It started flurrying, of course. It's nice out though. It's like 40 degrees, nice and crisp. Definitely got some moisture up in the tops of these peaks. They're doing something over there, like, I don't know, maybe mountaineering classes or something. It looks like they're walking across some kind of bridge or something. See, he's going real slow. Maybe it's like a confidence course or something. Look at these gloves. First of all, snow's coming down, but look, Burton, like they're official. I'm not going to guess waterproof, but much more water resistant than the gloves I have now, and durable. I don't think you put your hands, I think that's just the ventilation, but it's awesome. Big strap, excuse me, I just had drank some soda. I mean, these are awesome, and this is exactly what I needed for out here. Thank you very much, Miss Kate, and here comes the snow. Let me get this tent up just in case this gets crazy. All right, on today's episode of Dumb Choices Made by the Crazy Vet, it's me. I'm just sitting out here enjoying the snow because it's not cold, but everything's getting wet, and I gotta think, like, it's gonna get cold tonight. I'd rather not have wet gear, so I need to start setting my tent up like right now. I'm gonna do the same place I did last night. She's coming down, and this might get a little heavier, who knows? It's supposed to go all night, but only like 30% chance. And talking to the people in the library, no one has a clue what's gonna happen in these valleys. It all depends on, what the tall mountains block and stuff. Sometimes it could be nothing, so who knows? This could turn into a foot, or we can get it nothing, so we'll see. I better shut up and get my tent up. Well, that passed quickly. It was starting to accumulate, and then just like that, the sun came out and it's gone. So now the only snow is under my tent. So if I would have just waited, I would be putting my tent down on a relatively dry surface, not covered in snow. But oh well, it'll just make the bottom floor damp. Not the end of the world. But that's supposed to happen a couple more times. It's still dark off in the distance, so that could come on and off all day, and then one of these times it could stick and we can get a quick half inch. So I'm prepared now to set up. I just sit outside the tent now and relax for a little bit. All right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sitting on snow, so now I don't think that's wet. I just think it's the damp underneath, but I'm going to go down and check. I mean, I'm sure I might have got a hole in it somewhere here or there, but yeah, it's just, there's a rock there. I need to get that out. Oh, it's soaked under there. There's the rock. Oh, I'm filthy now. Yeah, so that's what you got to deal with. Sorry for the camera work. All right, guys, just getting my stuff in order. I actually laid down my thin mat, and then I put the emergency blanket on top, and then my regular mat. I'm just trying things out. Because when I cover up with that emergency blanket, it helps tremendously, especially when it's windy out, but then everything gets wet underneath it. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But I'm going to leave the rain gear on tonight because it might have a little breeze tonight, so this really cuts down on the wind. I was talking to, not Kate, another lady that works at the library, and I forget her name, but I have it written down. She gave me her number. You know me, I'm just socially awkward and I forget things. You guys already know when I look at a map or forest, I forget instantly, but I'll find out and fill it in later. But she told me, she brought up a good point. When my tent was collapsing with the wind, tying it off like I did, like I got it staked out right now, but not serious. It's just on some rocks. I'm not tied in real. Before I tied it to some real big deadfall, like it wasn't budging really. And with them high winds, I could actually be doing more damage than my tent because now it can't flex. And now I'm just like shredding the fabric, which my net did, the interior tent, like it stretched the net out in a couple spots. So this tent, like I have, everything's got its pros and cons, as I said, but the tent made it through that wind. And if you've seen that, I mean, that's impressive, I think. I don't know how my other tent would have did. I don't know. It wouldn't have gave way like that because there was nothing to give way. It was just one hiking pole, and a hiking pole is sturdy. So it could have snapped my hiking pole, though, in all honesty. So who knows? I don't know. But I think maybe letting that tent flex like that, it's maybe what it's supposed to do in that wind. All right, 5 o'clock, guys. I'm just in my tent, stuffing my face. Getting ready to make some delicious chicken noodle soup in my stove. Thank you from Miss Kate from the library. And the other lady I was talking about, her name is Mary. And she wrote me a quote of the day from John Muir. The winds will blow their own freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop away from you like the leaves of autumn. John Muir. And then she put her number on the back, told me if I had any problems to give her a call. So it's very nice to meet both of them. Just wanted to get her name out there before I forgot it again. Time for some chicken noodle soup. Good morning, guys. It's Friday morning, October 15th, I believe. It's 22 degrees, but it feels like 16 out, my phone's telling me. And I've been fine inside my tent, but I got out and I went to use the bathroom and I had to come right back in my tent. It's too cold to be out there right now, so I'm going to wait till daylight and then start breaking down camp so that the sun comes out. All right, guys, 9:30. Little late start, but it's freezing out. It's like at 28 right now with wind chill. It feels like 20 or something. I'm just starting out. I'm just at the gas station, got a little coffee. I'm 0.24 miles in, so just starting. I got up early, around 5. Texted Miss Carmen. She wanted to make sure I was all right. It went down to, I think, like 14 with the wind chill last night. I was actually fine in the tent, but when I got out this morning, started getting ready, it was just way too cold. So I climbed back in the tent, covered back up, laid down until the sun started popping out. So, and then I just took my time in the sun, let everything dry out. So late start, but it's just, I think I'm gonna have to start doing that, just starting later in the day because it's just too cold, man. And it's funny because before I started this, like I watched this guy, I won't say his name, but I watched him on YouTube. He attempted to do the Appalachian Trail in the winter, right? So he started like, I don't know, mid-December, and he made it to like a weekend, and he stopped because it was too much snow. And at the time I was like, well, what'd you expect? You're hiking the Appalachian Trail in the winter. So I'm sure people can say the same thing for me out here, and they're right. And at least a dozen people told me on Instagram, like, yo, you're getting to Colorado too late, be careful. A lot of people were giving me warnings, and I just expected it, not to be so bad for October. I kind of thought it'd be like up the mountains in Pennsylvania in October where, I've been up there where we got a snow before Halloween, but it's gone in like 2 days. It's not like this. It's cold. Looks like tomorrow might actually get up to 60 during the day, so that'd be nice. Next couple days look relatively nice. Still cold at night, dropping down into the 20s, 30s, and wind chill even lower. So that's what I'm gonna get out here. I just gotta, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm struggling with motivation mentally. I'm not gonna quit, but I've been thinking about quitting Colorado and making it up later, I'll tell you that. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna keep walking until this walk is done, make up what I have to make up. But a lot of things are running through my head in Colorado, so I'm just gonna take it one day at a time right now and just see what happens. All right, guys, I'm 3 miles in. It's 10:50, and I'm at 8,322 feet elevation. I've gained 1,200 feet. It's 31 degrees out. The wind chill feels like 18. So I got on the 2 bottoms for my base layers, wool, and I got on a thin top and then the fleece. So I'm freezing, but I'm soaking wet, sweating. So it's just one of them combinations. It's what you're going to get when you're climbing uphill. There's no way around it. I'm going as slow as possible. I'm going at 2.2 miles an hour. So I'm crawling. All right, guys, it's 11:45. I'm at 9,100 feet, and I'm still going up. Now I got snow on the road, so it should be a little slippery. I just had to just drop the pack, take a little break. You know, I'm freezing sitting here, but it's... I'm going so slow. I'm taking like 10 steps, stopping, kneeling on my pole for, 30 seconds, 10 steps, 20 steps, stopping. It's killing me. It's hurting. All right, guys, it's 1 o'clock. I just crossed 10,000 feet. I believe it's as high as I've been since I've been in Colorado. I can't really think straight right now. Can't film long either. My hand is absolutely freezing right now. It's telling me it's 32 closest town, but that was 3,000 feet ago. So, and the wind chill back there was 18. It's cold up here. Oh, I gotta film this quick. My hands are freezing. 10,200 feet, guys. I got on the other side of the power lines for my Instagram photos, but my hands are absolutely freezing. I can't keep them out anymore. So sorry, quick views. But we'll get more. I mean, it's incredible up here. It's so cold, though. All right, I got to put my hand away. Oh, ice cold. Look, I got all excited because there was roads there, and it said sign for Georgetown, and it was going down, but nope. I still have more up to go. Oh, can't be that much more. I got to be heading down to Georgetown here pretty soon. This is all the Arapno, or I might be saying it wrong, but the National Forest I was at last night and the day before. It's all part of that. God, I'm so excited. More uphill. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible up here. All of a sudden, my one glove with the touchy thing started working on the screen, so I can film with my glove on. Man, I'm 10. They gotta be, I don't know, 14ers over there, maybe? All right, guys, it's I'm 8 miles in. It's 4:25. I'm sorry, 14:25. So that's 2:25 for normal people. Still going up, but it's leveling out. My map says in 1.1 miles, I'm gonna hit a series of switchbacks that plummet down. So, and that takes me into Georgetown. All right, it's 3 o'clock, guys. I'm 8.68 miles in. Still telling me, I think I got like a mile to go to these switchbacks. I'm moving so slow. It's telling me like 1.9 miles an hour. I'm probably moving closer to like 1 mile an hour in this elevation. I'm at 10,608 feet elevation is the highest I've been all day. That's killing me. I'm thinking about just stopping and setting up camp up here somewhere. But I'm gonna keep pressing on for a little bit. My feet are getting cold because the snow is nothing. It's just like a ½ inch, but it's enough to get into the netting right there, which is just mesh. So my socks are getting wet. My feet are starting to chill down, which come tonight they're gonna be cold. But I got dry socks in my pack. I took off my sealskins. I didn't think I need them today. They would actually came in handy, but oh well. All right, guys, it's only I'm at 9.03, so literally just a little bit since I just talked to you last. And I just don't have it in me. I'm done. So I got 1 full liter of water and a half a Gatorade. I'll be fine because I'm only 3 miles from town in the morning, so I won't cook nothing tonight. I might have a cup of tea, but otherwise I'll just eat like odds and ends. What a beautiful spot, though. So I'm just walking around back in here, trying to find maybe somewhere in between some of these trees in case the wind picks up tonight. But wow, look at that view. Sorry, guys. I wanted to do 10 miles today. I wanted to get to town, so it would have been a little more than 10, but I'm smoked. I just don't got it in me. That elevation killed me. I'm at 10,723 feet right now. That is just incredible, though. Oh, I just heard some thumping, like hollow ground, like thump, thump. I'm like, what is that? So I walked over and it was a bunch of mule deer running right at me. Couldn't get the phone up in time, but so something spooked them towards me. Don't know what that is. Find out here in a minute. Could be a bear. I'm going to tuck right in right here. I got a couple trees on both sides. Not the best, but it's flat, and it's better than being completely exposed in the open. All right, 4:30, guys. I got my area cleaned out right here. I'm going to just set my tent up a little early, because I think this is national forest. There's a couple fire pits up there, so, you know, people look like they just pull up and burn. I got the little solar energy going, drying out my socks. It's actually nice in the sun as long as that breeze ain't going. But look at this. My first sighting. What, 25 feet from my tent? First pile of bear scat. I believe that's bear scat. It has to be. Fun times out here. Ooh, that breeze is a little chilly. I hope it ain't windy tonight, but I think if I remember the weather correctly, it's supposed to be. Not like the other night with me, but like 20 miles an hour. But I'm tucked in here pretty good. I mean, I'm going to get some wind, don't get me wrong, but there was better places, but there's snow on the ground. I'd rather not put it right in the snow. So this is going to work just fine. I got a little blockage up there. I'm good, I think. All right, guys, it's at 20 after 5. I got her all set up. Wind's picking up a little bit. Sun's going in, so it's getting chilly. So I'm just going to hop in the tent, put on a podcast. I got a little solar, so I want to podcast for a little bit. I got the thin mat, and then I got the thin mat wrapped in emergency blanket, and then my Nemo switchback, I think it's called, on top of it. It's been working well. That emergency blanket works incredibly well for keeping the cold off my bottom. All right, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, October 16th. 6:30. I've been just laying here, awake for a little bit. It's just too cold out there. I literally have every single thing I own on. Everything. Puffy, fleece, 2 base layers, everything, raincoat. It was just a cold night when that wind picked up. So I'm going to get out of this tent here and start fighting through this and getting some of these layers off, packed up, and get moving. All right, 8:30, guys. Look at that view. I'm on the trail, just started, just got out. I just had a full canteen cup of hot tea. My water bottle was frozen, but not frozen solid. I don't know what the temp is up here because my phone haven't had service for a little while, but it's cold. But I think in town it's supposed to go up to 60 today, so I mean, just look at that. I mean, Jesus. So I'm gonna hit Georgetown, and then after Georgetown, I'm gonna take my first alternate route, and I'm gonna stick to the bicycle route, which I forget the name of the gap, Argentina Pass or something. It's going to go like a bypass. So I'm still going to go up above tree line, except I'm going to be on a road, which I guess they close the road to traffic here in another week or two. So I should be past it by then. But that's another thing I didn't think about. They close a lot of these roads in here just to vehicles. I could still walk them if I'm nuts, which I am because I'm a crazy vet. It's so cold up here. Them peaks, man. All right, finally making my way downhill, 1.28 miles in, and I got this lone track. It's going across the edge, and I believe it's a mountain lion track, a small mountain lion at that, but it's a mountain lion. It's hard to tell because it's probably a couple days old and the wind is blowing snow over it, but I'm pretty sure, if I had to make a guess, if I was out hunting or telling, it's a mountain lion. So that's fun. I mean, are you kidding me? Wow. Just wow. Man, the view's coming down this mountain. Well worth the climb going up it. I mean, my body's telling me otherwise, but it's just incredible. I think I'm going down to that major highway down there. That looks like Georgetown, I'm guessing. I'm too busy looking out. I don't look down. I almost went right around. Yeah, it's Georgetown down there, and it's Georgetown Lake. I might end up camping somewhere around there instead of getting on the road and getting some miles in. I don't know yet. Gotta dry my gear out some point today. Hopefully I can get some electricity when I'm down there. See what happens. All right, guys, it's 11:15, and I'm 4.45 miles in. Just slow going down this. I'm moving it at 1.9 miles an hour. It's just slow. Much easier than going up, but almost just as slow. Especially when it's covered in snow and you can't see the rocks. But I can go a little faster when it's bare like this, but I still got a while to go. There's no way I was making it down here yesterday. I'm still at 9,100 feet, steadily dropping. Man, this is Georgetown Lake. It's taking way longer to get down from, oh, you can't see where I started, but it's taking way longer. I'm 5 miles in now, and I still got, I don't know, maybe 3 left, maybe more. It's just zigzagging down. Well, it took 9 miles I hiked yesterday, so 7 to get up the mountain. About 7. So we'll see. I may be done. This may be all I do today is come down the mountain. I thought I'd be in town. Well, actually, I thought I'd be in town yesterday. So, all right, 5.65 miles in. Still working my way down the slow switchbacks. I was hoping to hit the library up today to get some power, because this library and the one in Idaho Springs like share resources. They travel back and forth. So I figured it'd be no issue to go in there anyway. They close at 2, and it's noon already. Like it's taking me forever to come down here. I'm moving at 1.9 miles an hour. So the library's probably not going to happen, because I won't be there for at least an hour, and then sitting there for an hour is not going to get it done. So I might as well just look for a gas station, hopefully. Well, I'm still not down there yet, and I still got quite a ways to go. I cannot believe how long this is taking. I'm 6.31 miles in. I thought I'd be there in 3 miles, which now that I think about it makes absolutely no sense, because like I said, it was a 9-mile hike to where I ended at. So I'm guessing like 7.5, maybe 8 of that was actually climbing up the mountain. Well, it should probably take that to come down. I don't know what I was thinking. So I definitely made the right choice in stopping yesterday. Wow. And this is 100% going to be all I do today. I just got to find somewhere to camp somewhere here in town. All right, guys, walking around here in Georgetown. I'm 7.72 miles in, 7,900 feet. It's 1 o'clock. Sorry, I'm just playing my watch. Camping around here is going to be a serious issue. I don't know. I might have to climb back up a couple hundred or 1,000 feet. But right now, I'm just looking for somewhere to get something to drink and electricity. There's plenty of gas stations and stuff here, but I'm trying to find one that has electricity also. All right, guys, like 2:30. I'm sitting here getting power. I'm going to go in a little bit. Cop pulled somebody over. It's looking like camping around here is a little rough, so I'm going to walk 2 miles towards the direction I'm supposed to go, and then there's this place called Silverdale non-motorized recreation area, and it looks like it's just like a bunch of hiking trails over. It says relatively flat terrain, so I should be able to squeeze in somewhere there. I'm hoping it's forest, like wooded, and not just like open plain or some junk. But I'm going to stay here for a little longer, try to get my phone up to 100, see what I can get in my battery bank. I got 4 liters of fluid strapped in my pack, so my pack's heavy. I don't think I'm passing much until, it doesn't look like I'm passing anything really until I get into Leadville, one or the other. All right, 6:30 at night, guys. We had a couple change of plans today. When I got to Georgetown, I was at the Family Dollar. I get a text from Mr. Ron asking me if I'm in Georgetown. Lo and behold, 15 minutes later, he pulls up to the Family Dollar. So me and him went on a hike around Georgetown Lake that I showed you the views coming down. We ended up doing like a 6-mile hike. I was dying, no pack though. And FYI, I asked Mr. Ron to pick my pack up, and he said it's entirely too heavy. So my pack's easy 60 pounds right now. Anyway, he is probably can't see the truck. He's parked on a little like cutoff down there. You can see the white top a little bit. We're right off a road here, and this is National Forest. The rules are kind of iffy with dispersed camping here. I'm not quite sure, especially with the vehicle. So he may get told to move. I may get told to move. We're on the road right here to a popular destination. I think it's called St. Mary's Glacier. It's a 1.5-mile hike at the park. We're going to go there, hike that tomorrow, and then he'll take me back to the trail and drop me off. So we're going to go see some kind of glacier with a semi-permanent snowfield and all tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty cool. I'm closer back towards Idaho Springs. I felt like my heart was breaking after all that work hiking here. I'm backtracking back to there, but I got a nice setup here. It's only going down to like 32 tonight, so not a bad night. The breeze just started picking up. I didn't even post it all out and go crazy. There's not supposed to be any heavy winds tonight. I may live to regret that, but as you can see, I'm literally right on the road. But National Forest right here, so Private property across the street, private property behind me, but this is national forest right here. Good morning, guys. Sunday, October 17th, I believe. 9 o'clock in the morning. We're making our way to St. Mary's Glacier. Mr. Ron's up there through the trees. I don't know if you can see him. He's still probably a mythical creature, everyone, since no one's seen him yet. We're making our way. I should have brought my hiking poles back here. I didn't realize it was going to be a semi-challenging hike. Slippery, at least. There's Mr. Ron. He does exist. Somewhere in the trees. There he goes. We're heading back to this glacier. It's a semi-permanent snowfield, which I really don't know what that means. Temporary, kind of same thing. But we'll see. It's supposed to have a nice lake. It's only a 3-mile round trip hike. Today's going to be an off day, so even if Mr. Ron wasn't here, I was going to take today off. I'm just, my ass feels like I've been squatting cars. I'm just exhausted, so today's an off day. So on my off day, I'm doing some light hiking with no pack. All right, St. Mary's Glacier, guys. Got lost a couple times. It's beautiful back here, though. Popular area. Well, guys, I got to admit, I'm hurting way more than I care to admit, or I should be. I'm like struggling how to keep up with this old timer. My legs are just shot today. Having trouble catching my breath. Just feel extremely weak. So it's going to be a good off day after I'm done hiking with this. Definitely should have brought some water out with me. Mr. Ron talked me out of it. I was going to drink the water coming out of the glacier. I was going to have a couple sips, but he advised against it. All right, guys, Mr. Ron went climbing up the mountain somewhere up there to get a better view. I'm literally smoked today. I have no energy. I struggled enough to get here. I'm telling you, my calves and my ass and just my energy levels are just done. My legs are noodles and I have no energy. I'm just literally, I wish I brought wood. I'm just sitting here eating snow. Trying to get some fluid. I feel like I could eat a horse right now. Anyway, it is beautiful back here. Well worth the trip, slip and slide. St. Mary's Glacier. All right, guys, just walking around here. Mr. Ron's up playing around the mountains. Just had 2 female moose, a mom and a baby moose down there. I couldn't get on camera. Just the sun glare from my phone wouldn't work. So far I've seen elk, mule deer, and now moose. And I believe this is the actual glacier here. This is the snow field. It stays here. So for some reason I was thinking the glacier would be the lake, but that's just the run up. Whoa, see, that's deep snow right there. I just went up way past my shin. So right here is the semi-permanent snow field, the actual glacier itself. If that makes any sense. Hear that, guys? That is awesome. Look at Mr. Ron smiling like a little kid. He hit a golf ball. If you're ever up the mountains, hit a golf ball in a frozen pond or lake. It makes an incredible noise. Good noise. All right, guys, it's 4:20 on that Thursday evening. Mr. Ron just dropped me off here. I cheated. I got about 7 miles of driving in instead of hiking it. Just trying to keep it honest and real on this channel. I'm on the Ganoa Pass Road, which they actually close in 2 weeks. I think at the end of the month, they close this down for the winter. The campground that I'm in right now is actually closed. All the campgrounds along the stretch are closed. I'm on the alternate bike route, which means I'll be walking the road. I'm only like, I don't know, a couple thousand feet below tree line right now. Like, I don't know if you can see that mountain peak over there. Probably not with the sun, but I'm above tree lines coming up. So tomorrow I got to leave here nice and early and put a good hard day in, however many miles it takes for me to get up over, because you don't want to be stuck above tree line, especially on here because there's no campsites. It's not like I'm in the mountain. So there's no shoulder to walk on this road, but traffic shouldn't be that bad. It wasn't really that bad today, and it's a Sunday, so tomorrow it should be even less. Get to the next campsite, and that's it. My next stop, next town is Leadville or Leadville. I don't know which one it is. I think it's Leadville. But Yeah, so I had a good day. Went out, had a nice burger at Mr. Ron today. We drove around, checked some things out. Did the St. Mary's Glacier this morning, as I showed you guys. So it was a good day. Was not feeling good today. My legs were tired, so it was a good off day, even though I hiked still about 4 miles. It was a good off day, so a good Nero. Hopefully I get some rest. I can't be in any of the campsites because it's closed and you could see me from the road. So I had to come back here. I'm right next to a creek and some snow, so obviously it's a little colder back here than it is down there, but we're getting up there in elevation, so it's going to be chilly anyway. When I get to Leadville, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. It might be Leadville. I think Leadville. Anyway, when I get there, I'll have some mail waiting for me with some new gear and some food and stuff, so it'll be a good stop. But I got a couple days before I get there anyway. I'm going to just get dressed right now. I'm not going to set my tent up for until a little later, but I'm going to get dressed up right now and put all my warmer layers on because the temperature's dropping quick, not being in the shade. And it's definitely colder, always next to water. All right, guys, 5:30 Sunday night. Got it all set up. On a gear note, it looks like I lost my pair of merino wool 250 gloves. It's a shame. I still got a pair of fleece gloves, and I got the heavy duty gloves that Miss Kate gave me at the library. So I'm still good, but I hate losing gear. I'm not a person that loses gear. I think today when I was packing up in the morning, and when we got out to go to a glacier hike, something was poking out of my pack. It actually poked through the pod, through a stuff sack, through the pod, and through my pack. And then what was my flossing sticks? It must have been jammed in at the wrong angle and too much stuff and too much pressure, and it popped through. So all the holes are fixable. It's Dyneema. But I had gear everywhere after that because I took everything apart. I just threw it in the back of his truck. So I'm thinking the gloves I left in the back of his truck where he's got where he lives out of when he's traveling. So hopefully he finds them. And I might end up seeing him in about another week or 5 days or so anyway. He might swing by and see me again. Him seeing me the other day was a complete surprise, and I had no clue. He just pulled up in Georgetown when I was there and found me at the dollar store. It was crazy. All right, guys, good morning. It's 8:03, and I am starting the day. I just leaving the campground now. I am 10,426 feet in the air. It's a beautiful campsite. It's actually 18 spots, first come, first serve when it's actually open. It's on both sides of the road. I was tucked away last night, had zero issues, no animals, stream put me to sleep. Slept good. It was just cold. Not so cold this morning. I don't know what today's going up to, but I think it's going up to 50. But I'm stripped down to just my thinnest base layers. That's it. Not missing them gloves yet, but I know I am going to because these get wet and they're crap instantly. So I hope when I get cell phone service, Mr. Ron has a text on there from Mr. Ron saying, "Hey, you left your gloves in here." Anyway, on the move, I'm going to be going above tree line today, that way. Over there, look at that peak. Ooh, I'm going to be going over 13,000 feet. I believe it's going to be the highest point I'm at on this trail, I believe. All right, guys, 11,000 feet, highest I've been so far on the trail. I'm getting there above tree line, and I feel it. Just working my way up the road. Extremely slow, so no bragging here. I'm going extremely slow, and I'm hurting. All right, guys, making my way up. I think I'm approaching 11,200 feet, somewhere around there. I started the day with 4 liters of water leaving there. It's heavy, but I moved my gear around. I got all 4 on my hip. It carries much better than having an extra liter or 2 in the back pouch because it feels like it pulls back on me. But making my way up, Gonella Pass, Georgetown National Forest, which I've been in probably for the last week or so. It's a massive forest. Taking breaks like every 10 to 20 steps. Nobody stopped and offered me a ride yet. I thought they would, but I've been debating if I would take it, but it's easy to say no when no one's offered. All right, 10:50, guys. Laid all my gear out, dried it out, took in the views. Now I'm on my way. I spent about, I don't know, maybe over an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, something like that. Everything's dry. Ate a couple snacks. Grabbed some toilet paper out of the restroom there from my pack. Tossed a couple little odds and ends. And my KT tape is just too cold now. It's not working, so I just got rid of it. Or not my KT, my Luco tape. I still got KT tape, but on the move. It is incredible up here. It's a duck lake. It's a private property, this whole area right here in the National Forest. That's a nice chunk of private property, man. Well, I just came down from the top of that mountain, just working my way down. All right, guys, it's almost 1 o'clock. I'm just shy of 7 miles in. Just stopped here, filtered some water. Beautiful little spot on the side of the road. All snow melt, I believe. I'm only like 2 miles from the first campsite coming up. And if I can make that work, I'm not even going to push on to the next campsite just because it'll work out perfect tomorrow for doing around 10 miles to get to the next closed campsite that hopefully I can sneak into. So we'll see. If the first one doesn't work out, there's another one. Actually, there's another 2 within a couple miles of it. So I got 3, wow, it's raining on me. I got 3 closed campsites coming up relatively close. So my day is almost done and it should be all downhill today. It has been so far. Oh, and I don't know if I brought this up earlier or not, but I'm just using aqua mirror drops. I got tired of putting the water filter in my pocket, taking it. I think I talked about it before, but so I just been leaving my water filter, even though it was brand new, in the my outside pouch. So it's frozen a couple times now, I'm sure. I just don't know if there was any water in there or not. So I don't know if it's frozen and ruined or it's perfectly fine, but I'm just using aqua mirror drops. I'm fine. That water was cold, dipping my hand in there, I'll tell you that. Ice cold. All right, guys, it's like 1:40. I'm just shy of 9 miles in. Coming up on a park here. It's actually a park and a campground. If it doesn't look good, it doesn't look so hot right now, just 'cause it looks a little open, but I don't know if that's actually yet. I got to turn down the road. If that doesn't look good, then there's another one, the Bruno Gulch campground, and it's another like mile up the road. So I'll check this one out first, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll come back to the other one. We'll see what's going on. Designated sites only. That's all you see around here. And there's signs everywhere. No camping. No dispersed camping next mile. Now, that rule doesn't really apply to me. Just in case you're wondering, I'm down. I was up at, what, 11,200 today. I'm at 93.87 now for elevation. So, quite a drop. And I can feel it in my breathing and everything. All right, just working my way back. The gate's open, but it sounds like they got some workers going here. I seen a truck leave with workers. As you guys saw, I thought maybe they'd say something to me, but they were pulling like freshly cut down timber, and I can hear a chainsaw going down here. So I don't know if I'm allowed back here or not. We'll find out. The other ones on the other side have been closed, but they were actually up on the pass. So I don't know. We'll see. If not, like I said, there's another one a couple miles away, or less than that. But all right, yeah. So I kept walking up. No one said nothing to me, but the gate to the campground's actually closed, and it says, campground's closed. So I can always come back here later when these workers leave. But I'm going to go just suck it up, walk this other mile or whatever, and check out the other site. Maybe I can get back in there now. All right, well, the next campsite is literally just over the creek, through this section of woods, and then up this road about a mile. But the workers I seen pass me earlier with all the timber, they were just coming out and passing me again. They could care less, but I don't know if there's workers up there, so I'm not going to go up in that campsite. So I'm just coming off here in this little drainage area. This is National Forest. I'm going to walk back in here and just look for a spot to drop my pack and relax, hopefully in the sun. It's definitely cold, not in the sun. But I don't think it got over maybe like 44 today, something like that, somewhere around there. And it's been comfortable with just a thin base layer on. I actually got a little warm at times coming down when I was in the sun the whole time. Guess I'm just going to come back in here. And if I could pull this off and camp here all night, I will too. But if not, I'm just out of sight for a little bit. All right, update. Actually, the National Forest that I'm in changed. Looks like this is Pike National Forest now, not the Arapno that I've been in. So, in my second National Forest. But I have a feeling this is going to work out just fine. Like right here. I smell manure out back here. Where's that? It's probably come from the fields, obviously. All right, well, here's the time where I share too much information and I keep it real. I got all these layers on, so it makes going to the bathroom difficult. So I'm urinating, and I realized I don't hear no noise anyway. I just was peeing on the tail end of my shirt the whole time. So that's fun times. Looks good back here. I guess this is a little stream for runoff. Just stay away from the field. I don't like the fact that there's a bunch of blown over trees back here, which means the wind's be rolling down here. So, but they look relative. There's no water buildup in them, so I don't know how long they've been blown over for, but there's a lot of down trees all throughout this area. Don't like that, and the wind started picking up, but it's Colorado. It's always picking up. All right, guys, something a little different. It's 4:45, and I got her set up and everything. I'm just, I was falling asleep out here and getting chilly. I'm like, let me just put the tent up. I mean, I think I'm okay. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in designated camping spots, but they're closed down. So I'm about a half mile, maybe a mile from that, up the side of the road in the Pike National Forest. You can see me from the road, but you're just going to see like pieces of me. You can't get a good shot of me, and you know, I think I'm absolutely fine here. The workers were driving around the field earlier. I got a little nervous then, but I think I'm absolutely fine. So I'm just going to lay down. Right now, it doesn't feel like it's going to get that cold tonight. That could change quickly, but I was just moving around, putting the tent up. But look, I like when I put this extra stuff out there, like it's going to do something. It was just laying around my tent, so I used it. But she's set up, and I'll see her in the morning. Tomorrow's going to be another just a 10-mile day or so to another campsite just like this, or give or take. And then after that, we're gonna be off-road after, what's tomorrow? Tuesday, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we're gonna be out in the mountains, baby, on the Continental Divide Trail, on the Colorado Trail, and then going into Leadville. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. Good day today.